Welcome to our weekly movie talk on Friday. I welcome my co host Sean.
What's going on, everybody?
Today we are talking about Constantine, the 2005 comic book adaptation with Keanu Reeves by director Francis Lawrence. And I have to say, I haven't seen the movie when it came out back in cinema, but I watched it on TV. I was already on DVD. And back then I haven't read the Hellblazer comics, but I really liked the movie the first time I watched it. Then when I read the Hellblazer comics, of course you notice like all the differences, especially with the role of John Constantine. But we're gonna talk later about it. But this is also one of the movies. Every time I'm rewatching it, I love it more and more.
Same. When I watched it again yesterday, I was like, this is the reason why I really enjoyed this movie. I felt the casting was great. The CGI didn't annoy me. I thought it was fine for that time. And Keanu Reeves played a really good Americanized version of Constantine. Like if Constantine was an American, he did a great job portraying that character.
Hello, Gary B. Let's shout out to the chat. Gary B already has his Halloween version of his avatar online. I see it looks fantastic. And also Magic Lasso is already in chat. Thanks for stopping by, both of you, and I hope you're gonna enjoy the stream. Yeah, the funny thing is that in the original script, Constantine was British, but no studio wanted to pick it up. Then they changed Constantine from being British to American. Well, the rest is history.
The funny thing was they originally wanted Nicolas Cage to play the character, and
Yes,
I was
but
like, that was a bit odd, with how
I I love Nicolas Cage. I absolutely love Nicolas Cage. He's like many people laugh about him, but he's a fantastic actor. But I can't imagine him as John Constantine.
no, me neither.
I mean, Keanu Reeves does a fantastic job being the protagonist in this movie. I always say that this is the perfect Hellblazer movie without having John Constantine in it.
Yeah,
Uh,
that's a good
yeah,
analogy.
yeah. And Keanu is fantastic. You can really see that he cares about this role and that he puts everything in it. Uh, he's not John Constantine, but he's a fantastic protagonist in this movie.
Yeah, I will agree with that, most definitely.
And also, what's so funny because when we put on Instagram up that we're talking about Constantine this week, I got so many responses, and most of them said that, "Oh, this movie is so underappreciated," and so many people love this movie, but somehow there is like everybody somehow loves it in secret. And that's also I posted on Twitter that I'm going live with you, and we're talking about the most appreciated, underappreciated movie ever made.
Awesome. The most
Yeah,
appreciated, underappreciated movie.
yeah, it's like people love this movie, but they rarely talk about it. And it's also fun. A few months ago, I think in July, they talked about bringing Constantine back, like making a sequel with Keanu Reeves. But of course, with Warner Brothers, one day they say this, the other day they say this, but it's a possibility. And I really think that the movie would do fantastic now.
Especially with what he's been doing recently with the John Wick movies, people just flock to the theaters to see him as Constantine again.
Yeah. Hello, Nico in the back. I mean, Nicolas Cage is a fantastic everything. Of course, it's a Nicolas Cage version of it. I'm still very sad that we didn't get him as Superman.
Yes, Rachel Weisz was in the movie, and
Yeah.
this, if I'm not mistaken, was their second time together. Because I know they
Yeah,
were in Chain Reaction.
exactly. They had a movie before together, and she's also so well cast because she really plays it well as a person that has more to her than just being human, but also denying it, and she's also portraying a cop very well. And what I also really like in that one scene where her twin sister is dead, This was actually a life-size puppet of Rachel Weisz, made by Stan Winston, with Stan Winston Studios.
Which scene was that?
That was like in the bath when they got her out, and when she, I think, investigated the.
Oh,
Yeah, and the puppet was so well made, and it really looks like her. I wonder who took that prop of a life-size Rachel Weisz home.
I don't even want to think what they did with it.
Yeah. And in the beginning of the movie, it's so interesting because the movie starts, I think, in Mexico. Originally, it should have been Turkey, but they didn't have the budget to do it. And so
I will say that scene in Mexico, that was the first jump scare when he got hit by that car. You know, it just came out of nowhere. Yeah, and he just wrecked that car. That was an awesome scene.
Oh, that's fantastic. Stan Winston, one of the greatest special effects, makeup, etc. artists in history movies, of course, Predator, Terminator, and the Stan Winston Studios are still growing strong in working with his legacy, and you're really lucky to have met him. And he also had some serious muscles. I think he also worked out with Arnold sometime.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, in the beginning, and then they are digging around and they're finding the wonderful, as we see, the Heilige Lanze, the Spear of Destiny, wrapped in a swastika flag from the Third Reich. It's always so funny when American movies use using the Spear of Destiny, because it's not the spear. First of all, it's not a spear; it's a lance. And it's not the one that Centurio Longinus used to take a poke at Jesus. In 1914, Austrian scientists studied it, and it can be traced back to the 8th century. It's not there's no historical source as we know it if Charlemagne used it, but I think the earliest documents we have about it were from 926. When the king of Burgundy sold it to the king of East Francia. And then the myth came up after the king of East Francia beat the Hungarians that this lance is basically makes a leader invincible. And Americans use these myths a lot in these movies because after like a time in the medieval battles, etc., it was often like you had this legend. But later it was moved to Austria by Kaiser Franz to save the whole Spear of Destiny from Napoleon. And then later the myth gets interesting because after the Anschluss from Austria into the German Reich, Adolf Hitler took all the treasures from Vienna to Nuremberg. And there's a lot of conspiracy theories that think that Hitler wanted the lance to make him invincible. Truth be told, this is very unlikely because otherwise they wouldn't have left it in Nuremberg in the last days of the war. And after the war, it came back to Austria. And now it's in the Imperial Treasure in Vienna. So if anybody ever visits Austria, you can see the original Spear of Destiny in a museum in Austria.
That'll be our first trip, man. Let's go see the Spear of Destiny in Austria.
Yeah. Hey,
What's
Jim.
up, Bo?
Bye. Yeah, it's a fantastic prop, and same prop for the Spear of Destiny that was used in this movie was also used in Hellboy.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Yeah, and in Hellboy they also make the joke when the guy said it's like, I thought it's in Vienna. Oh, that's like a copy. It's the Kaiserliche Schatzkammer or the Imperial Treasury in Vienna in English. Imperial. Yeah, we are not imperial anymore, but we behave as we are everywhere.
By the way, that's a future movie that we're going to talk about. Hellboy that you brought up, definitely going to be a future movie we're going to talk about. Because I'm huge into the Magnolaverse when it comes to the comics and stuff like that. So definitely look forward to doing that in the future.
I love the first two Hellboy movies I really like. I think they didn't age so well, but I'm as we said with our top 10 comic book movies, I'm a big fan of the Hellboy reboot movie. One of the only only people that really love that movie.
Yeah,
But for
so
sure, we will talk about those in the future. Yeah, and I think the movie starts very well with this jump scare. And what is also so awesome about this movie, because I mentioned already the Spear of Destiny. This movie has so many artifacts in it, and they rarely describe it. So this was done and planned because the director also said that he conceived this movie as a sequel to a movie that never happened.
mm,
And this is good because we're not getting the origin of John Constantine.
no.
Basically, John Constantine is thrown at us, and I think this is the really great work of the director. He introduced us basically to nothing, and yet everybody gets what the artifacts are for, and the role of John Constantine very well introduced with this first exorcism.
The fact that, we have no origin story outside of maybe the little bit apart when he was explaining about his childhood and what he went through with seeing things differently from his family and that we get thrown the bombshell that he's got cancer, lung cancer from
Yeah,
constant smoking, and it's like we don't get to see this character constantly smoke in terms of building up to that moment. It's just dropped on us right on the first 30 minutes of the movie. So there is some things that, yeah, the movie did a great job of just introducing him to us and not even giving him an origin story. But at the same time, you kind of wish you got some more of it, because
yeah. I
you
think
want to know more about this character.
I know, but I think that's a really good thing because when the audience wants more, it means they presented something very interesting which you want to know more about.
Yeah, because we only got like a couple of minutes of that when he was explaining to her about his little past as a kid.
Yeah, and the horror is so well done. I mean, it starts right with this exorcism scene, and
Yeah,
what I also like about it is, I criticize the visualization of magic and witchcraft in modern movies very often, because when you look at Suicide Squad, basically magic and witchcraft is in this movie is just punching each other with neon effects.
man, that
And
movie was so
yeah,
disgusting to me, man. Like,
exactly.
it was some good elements, but I just could not take that shit seriously. Especially
Exactly.
Harley Quinn beating Enchantress. I'm like, are you kidding me? That shouldn't even happen.
Exactly. And when you look at the Constantine movie, magic is really portrayed as something dangerous. Like Constantine has to use props and relics to use magic, and you can also truly see that magic comes at a price.
Yeah.
This is what I really like about it. It's such a worthy portrayal of magic, which
Look at
you rarely get.
his two compadres, they both suffered at the hands of magic, and
Yeah.
they both was infiltrated by what's his name? The guy who played Baptized.
Was it Balthasar?
Yeah.
Yeah, I think yeah, by Gavin Rossdale who played Balthasar, really great, and his demise in the movie works so well. It's
Yeah.
what I also love about this movie is the mix of practical effects and CGI. So, and this is also why this movie aged so well. The CGI, of course, is outdated, but it doesn't really bother you because you have so
Yeah.
many practical effects. The problem with CGI movies is only when they have only CGI because your eyes can't focus on anything real, and therefore the CGI looks fake. But when you have CGI mixed into practical effects, your eyes have an anchor point in realism on the screen, and therefore the CGI doesn't bother you. And this movie does this so well.
Yeah, it's very rare when you use CGI and practical effects and it turns out great. Some movies just over rely on CGI and limit it to practical effects, and it hurts the movie because you want to see that practical effect. That you can really deliver some solid practical effects, but yet you just say we're going to use CGI, and the CGI sometimes just don't hold up well.
Exactly. And here is like they use as much practical effects as possible and enhance the scenes with CGI, which for stuff they can't do with practical effects.
Yeah, like all the bugs, and the swarm. Like when Constantine gets attacked by the demon in the street, that was perfect use of CGI.
So, and the scene was also, the composition of the scene was also so well done. You have a very great build-up of horror. Of course, there are like, I think there are like 2 jump scares in it, but also the jump scares work very well because they're not overused. And other
Yeah,
than that, it's really great how the horror introduces themselves. Like this one scene where he gets like attacked by the demons, and the demons already announce themselves. You see like their shadows in the windows, and then they go out, and then you see like the street lamps are going out piece by piece, and until there's complete darkness, and then they attack. This
I
is such
I
a
I did like that part when the street lights was going out, but then that one store, the lights were still on briefly.
yes,
So they had to run to that store where the lights were still on, and as it slowly dimmed, that's when Constantine worked his magic, and you see the demons. It reminded me of Pitch Black. That's when I see that scene, I
yeah,
think of Pitch Black. Because
yeah.
total darkness, and then you just light up the thing, and all those
Yeah.
yeah,
But this is how you do horror. Like this is how you do a sophisticated horror, not just cheap jump scares. And
hmm
this is why I appreciate this movie so much. Not only in terms of being a comic book movie, but also it embraces the horror of the Hellblazer universe.
yeah. I have
And
not. I
also,
didn't. I was gonna post my horror movie spotlight on this, but I figure I'd wait until I do it after the show.
yeah, fantastic. Yeah, it's this movie basically there's not a lot of criticism I have of this movie. It's like, of course, you can say it's not John Constantine,
That's the
but
only. That's the only criticism that I'll probably have. Is that Keanu Reeves plays an Americanized version of Constantine. It's not truly John Constantine, but
yeah,
what we got was really good, and I thought the supporting cast was amazing. And
exactly.
we haven't even touched on Papa Midnight. I thought
Yes,
Desmond Houston did an amazing job as Papa Midnight.
he was a fantastic Papa Midnight. He was a, of course, this was the script. I think he was a little bit too nice, but that was in the
Yeah,
script. Yeah, but his portrayal, especially having like this what's it, New Orleans style, like this voodoo
yeah, he was a
approach.
witch doctor.
Yeah, the only thing I wished is I think the Midnight Club was a little bit underwhelming. I think they could have gone more crazy in it.
Yeah. And then, like you said, he was a bit too nice. I mean, there was a funny part where he was, praying for them. He did his little prayer to Chaz, and then he turned to Constantine, I don't need this, and he walked away. So that was a little nice comedic effect there. But I just loved the character. I liked him in the comic books, and I did like the portrayal that he was in the Constantine TV series with Matt Ryan. That
Yeah,
one he was a bit more. That one he was a bit more villainous, and trying to do
yeah,
things that benefited him. So I just liked the portrayal of Huntsman here as Papa Midnight. And
yeah,
like
there
you
is
said, he was nice, but I kind of wish like I could have seen more of him in action. Like because he's an awesome character.
but I also have to say, of course, when I first watched this movie and had no idea who Papa Midnight is back then, this was nothing that bothers me. He was just an awesome character. These
Yeah,
are only the things that you're thinking about, of course, when you know the Hellblazer movies and know the source of the characters, where you think, actually, it would be nice if they would have adapted it like that. But if you have no idea about the comics, like if you don't have any idea about the comics, basically, there's no critic points.
and I think the funny thing about this movie is that it changed the way his character looked because in the comic books he was a bit bigger. When he started out in the books. And I think during or after this movie, they slimmed him down to make him look like his movie counterpart. So this shows you how sometimes they change characters based on the movie too, in
Yeah,
terms of how
sometimes.
they look.
Yeah, yeah, and even like in this movie, this is one of the few movies where Shia LaBeouf isn't annoying.
Yeah, like I like how John's was cynic towards him. Like he didn't trust him. He didn't like he's an apprentice, and all he does is drive him around. You're like, man, I could do more than that, man. If I'm your apprentice, shouldn't I be learning some magics and stuff like that? but it shows that even through at the end, he did learn something. Like he wasn't just sitting back and just driving him around. Like he did was actively trying to learn it, and he did end up saving the day. That's how he earned his wings. So
Exactly, the post-credit scene.
yeah. So I thought his character, for the limited time we got of him, and of course, when we think of Shia LaBeouf, we think of the Transformers and his annoyance. But I thought for here, I thought he was used perfectly.
Yeah, totally. And I mean, we also really have to appreciate that this movie went full rated R. So there's no compromise towards not showing something. And the director also said in the also, by the way, if you have the Blu-ray, listen to the audio commentary by the director and the producer. It's amazing. It's hilarious, and you're getting so much available information out there. Like like they said, actually, like a lot of people at the studio said you can't kill basically he was like still a teenager and stuff. It's but they really went through it because they said no, it's very important to the character of John Constantine that people that help Constantine ultimately die.
Remember when I brought up earlier about his two compadres, his Father Hennessy and the B Man?
Yeah.
Father Hennessy was interesting because he was able to communicate with the dead and all that and stuff. So when he was going there and analyzing the body of the dead sister, though, he was like, the hand was moving a little bit and he was thrown off. And then when he realized what was going on, he got the hell out of there. And I love when he tried to get something to drink because he always drinks to keep the things out, the people out of his head. And if nothing would come out, he break the glass, and oh man, that was such a clever effect on. And every time he puts it down, then it starts leaking out. Yeah. So I liked his death scene and how he was stabbing his hand to form the symbol for Constantine to realize it.
His animation. I don't think we will get Angelina Jolie to play Constantine, but she would have been a great Ellie. Which is a character they completely cut out of the movie except for her death scene in the end. But if you watch the deleted scenes, the demon Ellie from the comics had a big part in the movie, but they completely cut the character out except for in the end battle when Constantine shoots her with his holy shotgun.
Oh man. Yeah. I loved that holy shotgun, bro. That shit looked badass.
And also, the director said how much work they put in when he built it together, that it really looks like he's crafting something out of all the relics there.
Now, another character that we didn't touch on is the Archangel Gabriel, played by Tilda Swinton.
The one and only Tilda Swinton. She's so fantastic. And I also have to requote the audio commentary because they were constantly talking, and then you had the scenes with Tilda Swinton, and suddenly both director and producer were silent to listen to Tilda Swinton, and then afterwards it's like, oh, we're having to do an audio commentary, but Tilda Swinton is so awesome. We can't talk over her. Fantastic actress, and she really made this role. It's also one of the roles where I wish that had more screen time because
we only see her at the beginning and at the end. And at the beginning, she was only in it for like maybe 5-6 minutes, and then we see her majority at the end. And I was like, man, I would love to see more of her because she's just an amazing actress. She kills it every time.
I think this was the second movie with her that I have seen. The first one was The Beach with Leonardo DiCaprio, which is also a fantastic movie. And of course, one of our, I mean, she's fantastic in every role, but I totally also recommend Grand Budapest Hotel, where you probably won't recognize her, but it's also very interesting to find out who she is in that movie.
She was fantastic in this. Like when she was revealed as the enemy at the end, I was like, wow, this.
Yeah,
I just loved her explanation on it and stuff. So it was a great movie. She was awesome in the movie.
Yeah, and also what I really like about this movie is how they worked up with the balance between hell and heaven. Also, the director said that basically, there's so many fantastic scenes on Hell on Earth where he says basically like heaven and hell are basically in the same plane as the Earth, but like the Earth as it is has a hell version, it also has a heaven version. And it's also so fantastic. You don't really see God in this movie, but it's so cool in the end when you see that he didn't want to be a part of Gabriel's plan.
Yeah, I love that part. When she had her power stripped.
Yeah, that's
That
really cool.
that part where Constantine goes to hell, to see the sister and to get that band.
Mhm.
That was such a great scene. I always
Yes.
loved that part.
I always say until the new Hellboy movie, I think Constantine had my favorite portrayal of Hell on Earth ever made. It's because it's you watch it and there's just nothing stupid about it. Like they don't try
It's
to.
very hellish. Like you
Yes.
believe that stuff. Like you walk down that street of
Yeah.
hell and all these creatures fighting each other, tearing each other apart because that's what they
Hell.
portrayed in hell. Like when Constantine told Angela that your sister's in hell getting ripped apart, that's exactly what they rip each other apart. And soon as they notice Constantine there and they do that big jump to try and grab him, just amazing special effects there.
Exactly. Totally. And yeah, it's almost like a portrayal of hell by Dante, like Dante's Inferno. It's
Yeah, that's why I was getting with the
yeah.
vibes of Dante Inferno.
Yeah, and the director also said that actually they wanted to do more scenes in hell, but then he decided against it because he wanted to be something special in the movie.
Yeah. Plus, you probably strain the budget if you do.
Exactly. Yeah, they. It's always fun with movies. The movie had about $100 million budget, which of course which is a lot, but also is not a lot, big, especially when you use special effects. Uh, but they really did the best out of it.
Peter Stormare as Lucifer.
Yeah.
I have to say that introduction to him was one of the best introductions of Lucifer. He just coming down, sticky feet and all, just in glorious hand-fisted fashion, just coming out saying, Constantine, it's time for you to come down. And I was like, yo, this dude is killing. Like, I just loved the way he was acting all creepily. And, he just could not wait to take Constantine down to hell,
Yeah. And
And
this,
this, go ahead.
yeah, they also had so much trouble to go through the scene mode, but also the director said he wants this scene, and he totally says this must be done. Because the studio was not very happy that he said basically he saves the date through suicide. That
Yeah.
like the only way John Constantine saw out was like he's gonna kill himself because he's the one soul the devil come to collect personally.
He could not wait. He like, it's about time. Because Constantine knows that if he goes to hell, everybody there is waiting for him. Because he put them
Yeah.
there. Everybody is there. So
And
Lucifer was just chomping at the bits to take him straight to hell. And it was just amazing. And I just love how, because John Constantine did the sacrifice, as soon as Lucifer was trying to take him, he couldn't move him. He dragging the floor. It was amazing. And then when Constantine, the heavens opened up and Constantine is going to heaven, he throws that middle finger back at him.
yeah, it's like no,
hell no, you ain't gonna do me like that, man. He said, nah, you gonna live, bro. You gonna live.
yeah, Rachel Weisz was so fantastic in this movie. Like the top scene is just wow.
Yeah, that was
Hey,
another
man.
intense scene. What's
Yeah,
up, man
this
cave?
yeah, and Peter Stormare came a little bit up with a lot of stuff. Like he shaved his eyebrows and everything. He looks really creepy as the devil.
Yeah.
And what I really love is, before he can touch Earth, you see like how this oily things comes with his feet because in order to walk the Earth, he has to soil the ground.
Yeah. Yeah.
And this is also the part where this movie has so much mythology, but they don't take the viewer by the hand, but they just put it in there because the director also said like all this stuff he didn't want to explain it because this is Constantine's normal.
This is what he
And
does deal with every day. What's up, Biggie Shaq?
Yo, Biggie, thanks for stopping by. Yeah, and this movie really rewards the audience by thinking about like all these details, especially like all the mythic stuff, the relic stuff, the occult stuff. And I always hate it nowadays in movies when they take really the viewer by the hand and basically guide them through the whole movie. No, I want to watch a movie, I want to like it, and then when I rewatch the movie, I want to find out more about it.
Study it
Uh,
and examine it.
exactly, and Constantine is one of these movies that really rewards the viewer for rewatching it because there's so many details, like when Constantine fights off these flying demons. He burns something, and this is the shroud of Moses that he burns. So
Yep.
there's so many details in it, and it's so fantastic to revisit this movie. I absolutely love it. Yeah, the world building, the props. It really is a world, that that the normal viewer maybe not understands, but it's a world that makes sense within itself. And this is
Yeah.
what I always appreciate in a movie. As always, this is also my biggest criticism of the MCU because the rules of the world don't apply to every movie, and therefore it's not coherent. But within the Constantine movie, everything is coherent within the terms how they portray magic.
Yeah. Because it seems like when magic starts to come into play, like that scene with where the winged demons was about to attack Constantine and Angela, the whole street disappeared. Like nobody is on the street at that time, or nobody's driving until you see that bus come by after they done cleared it. So it's like magic caused this whole street to just disappear. Nobody's on it because it's like, nah, it's our time. We gonna attack these two, and we don't want nobody around. Nobody's gonna see this.
It
So
was
it's
such
like,
a portrayal of magic.
yeah,
Biggie, don't try John Constantine's tricks. As we know, everybody else dies except for John Constantine. Yeah, there's always it's so funny when on Instagram, social media, Twitter, there's always somebody tweets, one of these characters is going to save you, and the other of these characters are going to attack you. And every time there's something with John Constantine, somebody picks, oh, I want John Constantine to defend me. It's like, bro, have you read the comics? You don't want to have John Constantine defend you. Everybody dies around John Constantine.
that's the funny thing about Constantine in this movie. He's not as, I will say, as ruthless as he is in the comic books compared. If you look at the characters, that's why we say that Keanu Reeves wasn't John Constantine, because Constantine is pretty ruthless and very untrustworthy, and then whoever he does trust ends up dying. So it's like
Yeah.
you hook up with Constantine, it's almost like you're setting up your deathbed. You might as well just get in the grave and shovel your own dirt.
Exactly, and
It's kind of like Dirty Harry and all his partners. Whoever teams up with Dirty Harry, you either gonna get shot or put in the hospital. So what's the point, man? I'm staying away from that guy.
and this is also what makes Constantine such an interesting character because he's not the classical hero.
No, he's
Uh,
not.
and yeah, it's like I said, he's not John Constantine from the comics, but in the movie, fantastic within the movies. And interesting is also that have you seen in the end? Once the devil puts out the cancer of him, that he leaves the cigarettes aside and takes a chewing gun.
Yeah, yeah. I noticed that. I was like, oh, so he's not gonna smoke no more, but he can't resist that tobacco, so he got to get tobacco chewing gum.
Hey,
And
lady.
what's up, lady? Another thing that really had me thinking was after they left Gabriel, in her human form, she jumped back. She got back in the water, and I'm sitting myself thinking, is she upset that she's a human now? That she's gonna suicide herself by drowning, or is it just something that I'm just overthinking?
I think because when he punches her and she for the first time feels pain,
Yeah, I liked
she
that.
really enjoys it. I really think that also for the first time, maybe she can feel how it is to feel water.
Okay.
That's at least that's my interpretation. But also, this is one beautiful part about this movie because the movie doesn't tell you,
Yeah,
but the
it leaves
movie
it
lets you
ambiguous because I was thinking, maybe because she would go straight to hell with her betrayal of the god. But I was like, she don't want to be human because that's downgraded. You went from angel to just a normal human being now.
Yeah.
Like,
Yeah, I pre-ordered this book, but I have to wait 1 month for it since I only get a monthly delivery, and my delivery for this month went out before the new comic books came out. But it's also something I'm very looking forward to. I think also isn't currently at DC John Constantine also part of the Sandman universe from Neil Gaiman, but I think they canceled his book and just ended like a few more issues.
the funny thing is, John Constantine should have never left Vertigo. Even though Vertigo eventually ended, I just felt that once the character left Vertigo and put back in the DC universe, he lost something. He lost that specialness that he had because in the Vertigo series, he aged. He aged as the series went on. So when he went back to DC, he was young again. So I just felt like he lost that edge that he had when he was in Vertigo. And it's been relaunched so many times now. It's like, whatever.
Yeah, I totally have to agree with you, but also I really like the Justice League Dark Run, the New 52. And I also really like the John Constantine story in the New 52, especially the final end with Earth 3 when he basically he sacrifices his version of, he sacrifices Earth 3 John Constantine to save his ass. So there's great portrayals of John Constantine within the DC universe.
It's just inconsistent.
It's something totally different. It's entertaining. You're getting some serious, really nice dialogue. I also liked in the New 52 John Constantine run when he really explains magic. They say no, it's not like you're pointing at something with a stick and something happens. Every time you perform magic, you sacrifice something of yourself. Mm-hmm. And this is like a very cool portrayal of magic. And I also really liked, I think the rebirth run of was also fantastic. But the problem with DC these days, also with a lot of comic book industry, is that they always cancel a title and then immediately making a new number one, and don't let the title really develop over a long time. And this was the luxury that Hellblazer had at Vertigo because it was its own thing. But it was successful. But as we always know, especially within comic book industry, when you're like a small part of something and you've been successful, at one point they put you up because you made too much money for being a niche product with quality.
And that's the same.
Oh yeah, I still have to wrench some people in the chat. Yeah, it's like I really have to look at my channel and make a few moderators. I'm not even having like a banner on my YouTube channel.
Me neither, man. I haven't even made a banner yet.
Day one. Yeah. And DC can do so many things because they have the rights to all of their characters. So they basically nobody can stop them. But as we also have discussed in earlier shows, is Warner Brothers is it feels a little bit schizophrenic. It's like one day they're like saying, "Oh, we're gonna make all these movies as a Nightwing movie in production." The next day they can't remember it.
That's pretty much how it is over there. They talk about wanting to do a Nightwing movie, and you still ain't even established the character.
Yeah. I also have to look how I can make our friends here give them a wrench, because I only can mute them as I see here in Streamlabs.
I think you gotta go to the YouTube studio to do that.
Okay, gotta take a look later. For a German, I'm such a lazy person.
But yeah, I really enjoyed this movie, and it's like you said, it gets better upon further rewatches. And I just want to say that while the television series I enjoyed, there was a lot left to be done and a lot more improvements. I thought Matt Ryan was a really good Constantine in terms of his portrayal, the looks. He had the trench coat and everything. And let's not forget, Constantine was based on Sting from the Police. That was the origin of that character, is that he looked like Sting from the Police. So I just enjoyed this type version of Constantine by Keanu Reeves, and I also enjoyed Matt Ryan's version. I just hope that we can get something with Matt Ryan done on a bigger scale like this movie.
Yeah, yeah. Matt Ryan in this movie would be awesome. Yeah, Magic Lasso. It's every time I Google how to wrench somebody, I end up how to get a wrench, and I'm gonna stuck with that on the Google machine.
If the animated movie was good, I enjoyed
Yeah,
those Justice League Dark movies.
I also have those here. Those are
Yep.
fantastic. Yeah, especially the the city of demons. And here, John Constantine is also voiced by Matt Ryan. I'm a big fan of the New 52 universe that DC had with these movies, and Justice League Dark, the Apocalypse War, is amazing. This movie ends the whole universe. They had the animated one, and it's. Have you seen the movie?
Yeah, I've seen it.
The ending is fantastic, and the ending is
It's
always.
brutal too.
It's very brutal, and the basically I think the ending also describes what a DC editor does. Yeah, I can't quote everything that Biggie says, otherwise I'm going to jail in my country.
Damn, man.
Yeah, so this I totally recommend all of the Justice League Dark movies and animated movies. I think that the Justice League Dark movies some of the best DC films.
Most definitely. And it just shows you how much even some of the average animated movies of DC is better than the DCEU.
Yeah.
And that's
A
sad.
lot of, yeah. A lot of people totally shit on the DC animated movie and say, "Oh, the animation is so cheap." But I have to say, I mean, you can only speak here for myself, but I prefer cheap 2D animation over Pixar. I absolutely hate the Pixar style. There's too much going on.
I'm not big on Pixar myself.
Yeah, we're too old for this shit. But good old 2D animation is
Yeah.
is that I totally prefer that. It's like you know what is going on. Of course, they're reusing some animations and stuff, but I just love it, and I really have to rewatch like all of the DC movies again. And it's also like a very good field because DC animation also uses these movies to test the market for a character.
I
So
want
when
to I want to see Etrigan the Demon. Bro, if we can get Etrigan the Demon in the movie with Constantine, man, I'll be
and
all over that.
he's gotta rhyme. If you don't make him rhyme, then fuck you, Warner
Yes,
Brother. He has to pull demon rank. He has to bloody rhyme.
exactly.
I love it again. It's the Jack Kirby's The Demon Run, one of my favorite DC runs of every time. It's like get the there's a full collection out. I think you can get it for
Yeah,
$20.
you showed me the book I think last week, so I definitely
Yeah,
want.
and it's fantastic. Yeah, like so you have Morgan Le Fay in it. You have really cool mythical creatures. And
Yeah.
I always think, when I saw Hellboy for the first time, I always thought that looks like totally like Etric. Of course, I always say Mike Mignola. I love Mike Mignola, and Mike Mignola is, I think, he's like the love child of Jack Kirby and German Expressionism.
And Lovecraftian.
Yeah. Oh yeah, yeah. Hell yeah.
Yeah, he really nails the Lovecraftian lore in Hellboy. That's what I love about his stories. Like he mixes all these different elements. You have the German expressionists, you have the Lovecraftian, you have demons, and just great horror. I just love
Yeah.
it.
And one of my favorite winter specials is the Krampusnacht, where he portrays Krampus so
Yeah.
well.
Yeah, that was awesome.
Yeah, Etrigan is really fantastic. So everybody that hasn't read the Demon Run from Jack Kirby at DC, get it. If you love Swamp Thing, if you love John Constantine, then this is totally up your alley. And I totally think that I think Etrigan is underused at DC. I really love the Demon Knights, the very short run they had in the New 52. And of course, he gets used here and there in Justice League Dark Stories and other things. But for me, Etrigan is in terms of magic characters. I think for me, he's even over Satana.
And that's saying a lot, because I love Zatanna, but Etrigan is just a badass character. And
Hey,
Gary V
sorry.
hit. What's up, Pope?
I think I haven't read Hellblazer that far. I had some of the trades, but I sold them off. I needed the space.
But Gary B just said we need Constantine, Etrigan, and Zatanna together.
Yeah.
In the movie. We seen them in the animated movies.
Yes,
them in the animated movies, but imagine if we saw an actual live action version of Justice League Dark with those three.
Who would you cast as Etrigan?
I wouldn't know. I mean, I can't really think of an actor like right off the top of the dome.
With the team, I think I think he has a normal dialogue, but I think it was portrayed like that in Demon Knights that he rhymes when he pulls rank within the demon class. So every time a demon rhymes, like he pulls his rank, and that makes sense wise to use him in a movie, because if he would rhyme all the time,
it would get repetitive.
Would get a little bit strange, but I mean, I wouldn't have a problem with it, but I think for mainstream audiences, they would never let them rhyme every time. Yeah.
Gary B says Carl Urban.
I mean, you can cast Carl Urban in anything. He's fantastic.
Even if you didn't like him in Thor Ragnarok, I thought he was pretty entertaining in that.
I don't want to talk about Thor Ragnarok.
I knew I was going to. I knew your face was going to turn red as soon as I said Thor Ragnarok.
Thor Ragnarok. Oh, the creepy magazines, so awesome. I miss the classic, the classic time of magazines. Yeah, some of the urbans. Yeah, that's true. It's that's also. Have you seen that one picture of the boys where you had Anthony Starr in civilian clothes, and people couldn't figure out that he's the character that plays Homelander?
Mm-hmm.
That's because he's an actor. That's one of the follies I think that often happens with fan castings. Is that everybody like goes to the closest solution because the actor somehow looks like the character they should portray. But a good actor changes his appearance and also like the voice he talks for a role. There is a reason people learn to be an actor.
Yeah.
So at least when you're not an Austrian bodybuilder and you just naturally play yourself and they're awesome. I'm very disappointed in you, lady. Taika Waititi. I absolutely dislike his humor, I think. And I think he's very disrespectful to the mythology of Thor. Hey, Jeff, thanks for stopping by. yeah, it just works because he's a fantastic actor, and this is something that is really counts for something in England. One of the few things, but they produce very good actors.
Yeah,
Yeah,
they
Daniel
all
Day
trained.
Lewis. Yeah, I had a talk about Daniel Day Lewis a few days ago because finally we're getting a limited edition of The Last of the Mohicans
Yep.
here in Austria with three different cut versions. And when I was talking about it, I was raving about Daniel Day Lewis because he's one of I'm not a big fan of method acting usually because a lot of people just think being crazy is method acting, like Jared Leto with the Joker, when he
Yeah.
sends use condoms and stuff. No, but Daniel Day Lewis is a good method actor because he's just disappearing for a few years and learning the stuff he needs to do to become the character he's playing to. Uh, and this shows there's a reason he has so many Oscars.
Yeah. He was awesome in Gangs of New York.
Yeah.
Hey, don't
Nah,
worry.
I don't watch any Taika Waititi movies. I gave him too many chances, and every time his humor is just not for me.
Don't worry, Lasso. We'll talk about her next week when we talk some John Carpenter movies.
Yeah. Oh, Gangs of it's a funny thing. I absolutely love Daniel Day Lewis in Gangs of New York, but I think this movie hasn't aged well. I think the
That's
color, like how the movie looks, the cinematography hasn't aged well, even though it's done by Scorsese. But yeah, I think the movie's a little bit too cheesy also. But Daniel Day Lewis fantastic as the butcher. Also, I'm looking
cold.
forward to it. Yeah, I'm
I,
also.
I still gotta watch your video on the Vampirella.
Oh yeah, I had a nice Vampirella haul.
Yeah, I gotta watch that.
Even though my stream was a little bit rushed, even wear glasses because I almost missed my own
Uh,
stream. Devil Be Blood. I still have to watch that movie, but I heard so many great things about it. And yeah, next week we're gonna have a nice 2 hour special on yeah, and Carpenter. Already watched The Fog this week with audio commentary by Carpenter. This is also what I really like about our show. When I'm rewatching the movies, rewatching it with audio commentary, and I've become addicted to audio commentaries.
sometimes I think I have the Blu-ray of
I
the
agree.
thing.
Yeah, I agree with that. Then and this is also why I really love. Yeah, but what I love the Constantine movie. The world looks so real, so fantastic, and even like when they build like some of the like John Constantine's flat, for example, it looks like a whole flat where he just destroyed all the walls, so it's one.
Yeah, it's
And
just
this is
one whole.
something yeah, there's something where you could really believe Constantine would live in.
Yeah, I think I have the Blu-ray to that,
Yeah.
the
I
special
think
edition.
it came out with a new 4K remaster, so it's fantastic. Also, I
They killing me with
rewatched.
these. They killing me with these doing whole like they came out with like three versions of Ghostbusters on Blu-ray with the 4K one, and I'm like, man, I'm tired of spending money, but y'all keep sucking me into doing
Yeah, I don't know what I spent more money on in a month on comics or movies,
it.
and I think I spent like this week uh, 50 euros on new comics, like too many Sacred Six variants,
Yeah, them Sacred Six variants though, man.
but they're so sexy.
Thanks, fantastic.
Cthulhu. There's a lot of great Cthulhu board games. I recently played the board game that was based on the Neil Gaiman story, A Study in Emerald. It's a very complicated one, but I think when you play it with more people, it's really entertaining. Uh, But I haven't played Death May Die. But as we know, for even Death May Die, because it's not dead, but can eternal lie.
Sidetrack. When I posted the Void earlier this week, you've seen that, right?
I've seen The Void. I love the effects. The special effects are brilliant, but the writing is nonsensical. I have not a problem when a movie doesn't has a red line. I'm a big Lucio Fulci fan, and The Beyond is one of my favorite horror movies. But this movie is very visual storytelling, but it pays a lot of tribute to H.P. Lovecraft, and you have a lot of madness in it. And like the jumps within the story can be very well explained with it. But when I watch The Void, it doesn't feel like that the jumps within the story are made because to portray this sort of madness, but because the both of the directors are very much based in special effects, so this is their forte, and the special effects are magnificent, but they're
It's
not good.
it's a special effects driven movie.
Yeah, they're
I
not good
do I do
storytellers.
agree that the story is a bit okayish, but I enjoy it more for the special effects and just the overall tension that it has.
I absolutely dislike the League of Extraordinary Gentlemen. I love the comics, but I refuse to watch any movie adaptation where Mr. Hyde is not raping the Invincible Man. I haven't read those because after they canceled the first Constantine run after Rebirth, I think Constantine was the last of the DC comics that I canceled. But along with Rebirth, I canceled more and more of the DC comics because everything was too much event driven. I really loved the Red Hood and the Outlaws, and the Hellblazer run was also fantastic. But yeah, they canceled the Hellblazer run, and also they fucked Red Hood up with all of these uh, all of these event-driven stories. So this is what I really hate, and what totally drove me away from reading DC comics, because I think that my problem with DC was then that they gave Snyder too much power, and Snyder needs a strong editor because his ideas are too crazy.
I will
I
agree.
really, yeah, I dislike the drowned. It began with the drowned Earth, and then you had Dark Knight's Metal, and now they have Death Metal. It's just, when everything is epic, nothing is epic, and that's my big problem with DC. And right now, I'm not reading any DC book. There was a few years ago, I spent 200 euros a month only on DC comics, but right now, not a single DC book on my pull list.
I agree with you on the Scott Snyder thing. I feel like his stranglehold on Batman has kind of reached a limit to the point where I just don't want to buy anything that he's written with Batman as the character, because like I felt like he done written Batman for so long now. I'm kind of a bit tired of it. And I agree that some of the stuff that he comes up with is just ridiculous. It's
Exactly.
nonsensical, crazy. Like, and that's the thing that was up and down with his New 52 Batman run. Like, there were some good stories that had endings that didn't make no sense, or storylines like that whole that Joker, the Endgame storyline, which started out great, but then it started getting a bit crazy with the ideas that he was going with, and I just kind of I read it and I was like, whatever. It was a big whatever for me. And then I didn't really care for Mr. Bloom, the character that
Yeah,
he created. I didn't really care for him. So
I
it was
think
like
Snyder.
I felt like Snyder just he overreaches for what he's trying to do with his writing, like trying to think way outside the box. And I'm like, nah, you need to rein it in a little bit because you're kind of losing me with your writing.
Yeah, it almost feels like if it tries to be Grant Morrison without having the intellect of him. And I'm not saying that Snyder is stupid, but Grant Morrison is more intelligent than 99% of the Earth population.
and
For good and better, for better or worse sometimes.
and Snyder can be a very good writer because there's some great stories he put out.
Witches is amazing.
Yeah, I enjoyed Witches, even though I didn't like the splash of the colors.
Yeah.
I didn't really like that effect. It looked nice, but through the whole book, it kind of takes me out a bit.
But the story was
American,
fantastic. Creepy.
yeah, the story was fantastic. I liked it. American Vampires. That was
American Vampire was amazing. I think I even like back in the day I talked about it when I studied history, and I took it as an example that basically American Vampire portrays not only the evolution of an American vampire, but also portrays always like the historical decade it is set in,
it.
and it's very great. Like I always say, you can't learn history from a book, but books are very, like comic books are very important historical source of the portrayal of a decade. Like a comic book doesn't say, "Oh, this was like how the 50s were," but it very well says, "This is how we now perceive the 50s," or like how the
Mhm.
author do this, and therefore it's a historical source.
And another book of Zack Snyder that is a bit hit or miss is the great. One half is great, the other half is weak. Is The Wake.
I haven't read that one.
That book was like first half because it has him and Sean Murphy on art. First half amazing. Second half he overreaching. It's one of those stories where it's just I don't know where's he going with it. And then by the time you get to the last issue, it is just so much info dump that my mind is just fried just reading all this damn dialogue that I put the book down. I was like, nah, man, you started off great and then you just lost me on the way to the last issue. So Snyder can be very good, but like you said, he needs an editor to rein him in sometimes because sometimes he just goes way off on the deep end with his writing, and it just loses me all the time.
He needs a strong pinhead.
Yeah.
But I have to agree with Pope Cerebus here. That I think that the introduction of Billy the Kid within the League of the Extraordinary Gentlemen was actually a very good move for the movie. Yeah, and it's the movie that made Sean Connery quit being an actor.
What's up, Simply Incredible?
Mystery Man is very interesting. This is a movie. When I watched it for the first time, it was not what I expected, and when I rewatched it, I really fell in love with it. Hey, Simply, thanks for joining us here. So, yeah, I uh, I stopped before I stopped immediately before Rebirth as I read the Rebirth special from Tom King, and I was like, I am not on board with this.
Oh, I'm dropping.
But
I've been on board since issue 1, and I'm pretty much done after issue 100.
my condolences.
Yeah, I'm dropping all the Batman books. The only book I'll pick up later on is the third book of the Three Jokers. But after that, I'm taking a Batman break. I've been reading Batman since New 52 started, and before that, so I need a Batman break.
That's was Mystery Man. I know there's like for Mystery Man, I think there's like a two-part adaptation of the movie, but I have no idea if it was a comic first.
Yeah, I need a Batman break. Fantastic.
Schubert.
Yeah.
Yeah, right now it's really I. It's because it's weird because I absolutely love DC. But when I buy DC books, I mostly buy back issues.
Yeah.
Because I enjoy the stories more, and I mean, I heard very good things about the Hellblazer comics that are now in the Sandman universe, and I'm pretty sure they are well written DC books, but DC put me so off with all these events. And also when I see nowadays like all the books they're putting out with the Dark Knights, Metal, and you have like the Batman Who Laughs and the Robin King, and there's like
I
it's like
I read Dark Knight's Metal and I read the Batman Who Laughs because I just couldn't stop torturing myself. They were okay. That's the most I can go with it.
that's interesting. I had no idea that Mystery Man was a comic book first. I always thought it was a movie that then became a comic. But thank you for the information. And also think in the future we should totally do an episode on Mystery Man one day because it's a really good movie, and it was also one of the first movies that I watched where I sensed like, oh, there's actually more to Ben Stiller than his hilarious comic roles, and I love his comedy roles. There's something about Mary is this movie changed comedies back in the days.
Yeah, I'm done with that. No, anything that involves Ben Stiller, I can watch.
Yeah, Tropic Thunder still masterpiece. I think I will also have to rewatch Mystery Man. I think I haven't seen it in 10 years or something. Still have like a very old school DVD downstairs. And the cool thing is like you can always tell it how old the DVD is by how thick or thin the plastic is.
Yep.
Because nowadays they're releasing DVDs where the paper feels to be stronger than the actual plastic. Royal Tenenbaum's fantastic movie. Man, I recommend everything by Wes Anderson.
Yeah, he's a good director.
He's a fantastic director, and also his cinematography, his use of colors, the way he centers like every shot. It's art, and I would really love to see a comic book adaptation by Wes Anderson one day. I mean, there's a very funny video on YouTube. It's like a porn by Wes Anderson. It's fantastic.
Oh man, Tropic Thunder is just great, man.
Everybody loves Tropic Thunder, and it's and it really pains me when nowadays people like shit on this movie. It's so offensive. It's like it parodies idiots.
Yep.
It makes fun of the Hollywood elite. Yeah, Grant. It's always funny when people ask me my favorite movies. My two favorite movies are actually Conan the Barbarian and Grand Budapest Hotel because I think both movies are just perfect. And these are some of the only movies that are rated with 100% because I wouldn't change 1 second in both films. And Grand Budapest Hotel, fantastic. Yeah, everything is perfect. So exactly, it's like Wes Anderson. You can never go wrong. And yeah, the Darjeeling Express, or it was Darjeeling Limited, also fantastic travel movie. Ah, I've got to have all these movies here. I have to rewatch them.
I know, right?
But
It's like the chat always throw out more suggestions for future
yeah,
shows, man.
yeah, I think we have a lot of material because also this week I rewatched Meteor Man because it was finally released on Blu-ray here. So this is something we're going to talk about in November, I hope, and also hopefully with Al. With
If he be our first guest, then we
yeah,
open the floodgates for other guests to come on.
yeah. But I also try to avoid that we have like three lines of people here because what I really love about this show is just having like this discourse with you about movies and how we both analyze it and what we like, what we don't like, and it's like playing back and forth, and I really enjoy it.
Yeah, I just can't wait for next week. I don't know if I'm gonna get through all of his movies because I do want to start with one of his earlier movies before Halloween. Think it was Assault on Precinct.
Yeah.
I do want to start with that, and just to get a taste. And I can't wait to get into some of his most known movies, but I can't wait to talk some John Carpenter next week.
Hey, musings, greetings. Yeah,
What's up,
I
musings?
also rewatched John Carpenter's Vampires.
I haven't
James
seen that.
is so fucking cool in this movie.
That was the one thing I loved about the movie was James Woods. He's an
Yeah.
amazing actor himself.
It's
Like anything
interesting.
I see with James Woods, I always enjoy because I know he's. I mean, for Christ's sakes, I love him and Michael J. Fox in The Hard Way. It's just that movie's a crazy movie itself, man. I love that.
It's interesting how James Woods went from hunting vampires in movies to hunting liberals on Twitter.
Life
I should,
aquatic.
I should like James Woods if he would come on for the stream.
I mean,
Our Life Aquatic, I love this.
yeah.
Bill Murray. Yeah. Fantastic one. It's such a poetic movie. It's also that was actually the first Wes Anderson movie that I watched because I love sharks. This is a shark movie, so it was something different than I expected, but in a very good kind of way.
I know Pope Service. That's why I want to watch it. I've probably seen that movie like once, and I barely remember it. So I definitely want to give it a watch again.
Yeah, I'm also happy to. I'm gonna rewatch it next week. I also haven't watched the movies in years. I watched it when it was on free TV once here, but since they're not on, it's a very fantastic movie, especially because back then when I watched it, I really liked this claustrophobic atmosphere.
Yeah, I can't wait. I can't wait to just. I'm probably gonna. Some of these movies I'm gonna post on my horror movie spotlight on Instagram. So it's gonna be like a week of Carpenter movies.
Yeah, it's gonna be a very interesting weekend. Looking forward to watching all the Carpenter movies. It's gonna be also it's going to also be fun because I love Carpenter, but I absolutely dislike Halloween.
Well, I already did the first Halloween, so I'll probably just cover Halloween 2 since he directed that as well. So
Yeah. Even though he
I
doesn't
mean,
like,
the one thing I do love about those Halloween movies is just how Michael Myers comes out of the shadows and that mask just appears. I think that's one of the best effects used in movies. With that white mask just appearing through darkness.
I
The
love the
first two
sound,
movies, yeah, the soundtracks are amazing. His music scores are awesome.
but you can totally see how Carpenter was inspired by Italian giallo movies. Have you ever watched Sergio Martino's Torso?
No,
You gotta watch that one, and for Bay of Blood by Mario Bava, and you can totally see how the US basically took these giallo movies, which are basically also proto slasher movies, and turned them into the slasher genre in the US.
yeah, Gary B agrees with you.
Mm. Yeah, it's I totally agree with that. I think Halloween it's boring. It Halloween. I know for the first time when I watched it, I think I was like 14 or something, and I was so looking forward to it because there was this big buzz around it. And then I watched it and it was like, that's it. Then I rewatched it 10 years later because I was thinking, oh, I was 14 back then. Maybe I was too young to appreciate it. Let's rewatch it. It's like, it's even more boring than when I was 14. I don't
Yeah,
like
it's
the
a
pace.
slow moving movie.
Yeah. And
Like compared to The Fog, I feel like The Fog was slow paced, but it still had that great tension and stuff that it was well built throughout the movie.
yeah, I
Whereas
love
Halloween was just yeah.
yeah. And The Fog is so it's a poetic movie, and Barbeau makes everything better, of course. And Jamie Lee
Plus,
Curtis also
plus,
doing better in
plus it's got Tom fucking Atkins, man.
Yeah.
And
The
without a
style.
stash too, man. I'm like, oh,
Yeah, you really gotta watch Italian giallo movies, especially by Sergio Martino. The Strange Vice of Miss Ward, which has one of the most awesome twists in the end. And yeah, he also did Torso, and Torso is a movie that heavily inspired Quentin Tarantino for a lot of movies.
they'd be fantastic. Can't do horror movies. Goonies is a classic though.
And Hocus Pocus is such a basic bitch movie. It's like Hocus Pocus with pumpkin spice latte.
Oh man.
People
Oh
will hate
man.
me for this because apparently like every chick loves Hocus Pocus.
What the
I
thing about the Pope brings up Texas Chainsaw. He said, "Don't say Texas Chainsaw." But the thing about that one is that that has even lesser kills than Michael Myers.
exactly. Yeah, I'm
Like,
also not a big fan of Texas Chainsaw Massacre.
when I first watched that movie, I was expecting somebody to get torn up with the chainsaw. I'm like,
Yeah,
oh, there's gonna be some brutality in this shit. And I'm sitting watching, watching, and I'm like, yo, man, where's the chainsaw violence at? You know, and I remember coming out of that movie, watching it, I was kind of disappointed, man, because I was like,
yeah.
even though it's an early '70s movie, I thought it was gonna be some brutality in it. I mean, a man with a chainsaw can't get no more worse than running from a man with a chainsaw. And then after I watched it, I was like, I don't know what people are saying about this. I mean, that scene at the dinner table is probably the scariest scene out of the whole movie.
Yeah, it's always just like it's supposedly be about a real story. Like most of the movies are like based off Ed Gein and Gacy, the guy who was dressed as a clown. So it's like this is like mostly like the only realistic component of a lot of horror movies that then claim that they're based on a real story. I haven't seen The Final Girl. Isn't it a series? Or, no, it's a movie.
People also love Scream. I didn't really care for Scream because I'm like, it's just a dude in a ghost face mask, and while the mask is awesome, I'm like, I ain't. I'm gonna fuck that dude up. Like seriously, that's my ghetto mentality just coming out. This dude chasing me. I'm gonna avoid that knife, and I'm gonna fuck him up. That's just he ain't Jason or Michael Myers
Yeah.
that they just keep coming at you. It's just a dude in a ghost face mask.
I really liked
Rip his
Scream
ass.
when
Yeah, go ahead.
I really liked Scream when it came out, but I haven't watched it since the early 2000s, and I'm afraid to rewatch it. I tried to watch the series on Netflix, but after 10 minutes, I had to turn off. I'm too old for high school students.
I'd rather watch a scary movie ghost with the Wayans brothers, man.
I'm also one of the only people that thinks that the Silence of the Lambs is boring.
That is.
It's just not for me. And it's also not a horror movie. It's a thriller.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
It's a good thriller and a good performance, but it's
it's
not
not for
something
me.
that I could sit through. It's not
Yeah,
something I could sit through.
it's always like movies like the real world bores me so much. I need something supernatural in a horror movie, and I want to have something that is. I want something that is crazier than life, and I'm also not a fan of torture porn because there's no supernatural aspect, and humans are boring. I mean, there's nothing wrong with liking it. It's a very well made movie that is perfectly cast, and I think when somebody likes a crime thriller, this is a fantastic movie. But when I watched it, the first time, I was expecting to see a horror movie, and it was not a horror movie for me. And it was a movie from a genre which does not interest me, and hence I was bored by it. And of course, when I say I don't like it, it doesn't mean that it's a shit movie. It's a shit movie for me.
Yeah, you know, I never disagree on anybody that says they love the movie and I didn't. I'm like, hey, more power to you. You know, some movies we all like, some movies we don't agree on liking. You know, but yes,
Everything Ray
Sinbad,
touches is fantastic.
Sinbad, Clash of the Titans.
I have one problem with the Evil Dead remake. I have to rewatch it. I know, but when the first time I watched it, I think it looked almost too sexy. Because what I really like about when Sam Raimi does effects, it really creeps you out. Like in Drag Me to Hell, when the witch like vomits into the girl's mouth, it looks really disgusting. And in the Evil Dead remake, even the slime looks sexy.
Hey, I can't watch Evil Dead if it doesn't have the King Ash, Bruce Campbell in it. Like, if he ain't in it, I ain't watching it because that man is the Evil Dead.
Yeah, Bruce Campbell is, like I say, hell to the king, baby.
Hell to the King, baby.
Yeah, but I think we're already at 1 hour and 20 minutes. We
Yep.
need to have some viewing hours left, free viewing hours on Streamer left for the rest of the month. Like to go back to
Especially for next month's 2 hour show.
Yes, exactly. Uh, it was so awesome rewatching Constantine. I mean, I watch Constantine like on a very regular basis. So it's a movie I watch at least once a year. But it still has, like I said, with this world building, this rich world, it still gives me something new every time I'm rewatching it. And this is why it's so rewarding.
But tonight, I'm gonna be on the Mega Power Hour with
Oh, yes.
84 because he sent me a torpedo alert. 84 sent me a torpedo, so I'm gonna unbox that on the Mega Power Hour tonight when they come on.
I fucking love the Mega Power. It's like at 4 a.m. here or something, 3 to 4 a.m., but it's Friday and I don't give a fuck. And the Mega Power Hour is mostly the reason why I sleep until 2 p.m. on Saturday. But, when Kenny and the Biggie go run wild, and you are too on it today too, so can't miss that one today.
Yeah, it's been a while since I've been on the Mega Power Hour, so I got some, especially with Kenny sending me a AOK, I got to be on the show to open it up.
Yeah, amazing. Looking forward to that one. And tomorrow you have your show on your show at Saturday.
Yeah, I have two shows. I'm going to be doing my show on Saturday, 2 p.m. Eastern, chatting with the comic community. And then I want to be on Fresh Princess show, 7 p.m., talking about the Genius comic from Top Cow. So I'll be on her Brown Girls in the Rain book club show at 7 p.m. Eastern tomorrow.
But I think a Cosby stand-up is still more rewarding than an after-show party. You know, Kevin Spacey was also in talks to play Constantine in this movie.
No, stop it.
No, really, and Mel Gibson too.
No. I'm glad Keanu got the role.
Yes, it's so fun when you think that actually Keanu Reeves was very miscast as John Constantine, but out of the actors they wanted to cast, like he was the best solution. So great. Yeah, I'm looking forward to see you later on the Mega Power Hour, and tomorrow when I have time, I always love to be in the chat for your Saturday.
Hey, last week was crazy because I had Mix Explain on, and we had all types of conversations, including metal of all things.
Yeah.
And Even if I don't listen to it, I enjoy listening to those guys talk about it. It's just the passion in the community about other stuff, that's not involved with comics. I almost want to
Exactly.
send you a link so you can jump on in and join the conversation.
Yeah, sometimes I always tell you when I have time on Saturday, but sometimes it's like I'm working on something and just have like a chat on next to it. Then but like I'm like to be a part of the chat, but I'm too focused on too many things to be a part of the panel.
Yeah.
Fantastic. So thanks to the chat today, we had a lot of viewers and it was really fun. We got a lot of great input from everybody, which also made us a little bit derail in the last 30 minutes. But you know, it's always like I always say, it's like the first 40 minutes I really want to really concentrate on the film, and then it's always also nice to get a little bit off the rails and interact with the chat, talk about other movies. There's so many great movies in this world, and it's fun to talk about them. And
Hey, I just
I,
want to say the Pope Cerberus. I'm gonna eventually do a live show because if you seen, we did 2 old school hip hop shows. But I want to do a live show with the comic hall of them talking about funk music, and old school R&B. So if you're interested in that, let me know. Eventually, I'll do that video.
Sweet. Thanks, Cerebus, for being in the chat. And if you haven't check out Pope Cerebus' channel. He has also great haul videos. And what I really like about his channel is he has also a very niche taste in comic books. So when I go in his channel, I see comic books that I have not checked out like in the previous catalog. So I'm getting introduced to a lot of interesting stuff. Magic Lasso also had a new addition video to his collection today. His
I
videos
gotta
are
check that out.
hilarious. Magic Lasso is such a nice person, but he also has such an evil try humor, and I absolutely loved it. And of course, Gary B, also fantastic channel. He's also a big Conan Red Sonja fan. He also loves powerful women, especially when they're sexy, as we all do. And his channel is criminally under subbed, so sub him up. And of course, Lady Fantastic, Lady Fantastic, the woman with the foulest mouth on YouTube. So she doesn't hold back, and if you can survive one of her shows, you can survive everything.
I still
Like,
want to do an X-Men show with her. I remember a few months back we wanted to do a show focused on X-Men comics. But I know she does a show on Saturday with the Saturday morning cartoon crew, so we'll have to work something out on that.
When she gets real, she gets real.
Oh yeah.
Also, Nico in the back, thanks for stopping by. I totally can relate to that. I don't know if you have a channel, but check out his profile. If he has a channel, subscribe to him. I've seen him for the first time today in the chat. Thanks for stopping by and also for giving us so much input. Anybody else I missed?
We know Boatwright popped up and Jeff.
Yeah, Boatwright, Biggie. If you're not subscribed to Biggie, you're making a huge mistake. And there's nobody, especially his latest video where he roasts other YouTubers. I absolutely love it. It's fantastic. And he keeps the comic camera up.
Yeah. But this was fun, man.
Thanks, everybody. Fantastic chat today. Fantastic co-host, and I'm looking forward to next Friday to talk Carpenter movies. So everybody have a creepy night. Watch a horror movie. Enjoy the weekend, but don't watch too many horror movies because otherwise you will miss the Mega Power Hour today, and that would be a huge mistake. So hopefully see you in the chat for the Mega Hour Power later on Comic Head's 84th channel. So have a savage day.
Have a great weekend, y'all.